Hello, hello. We are in our third class about how to deal with fierce emotions. What emotions have to do with the feelings, what fear has to do with love, and how we relate to each other if and when we're always in the emotional wave, always swimming, always trying to get out. And just as soon as we feel a bit of a relief, off we go again. And we are Svetlana Pritzker and Kendall Scott. We love intentional creativity, we love intentional living, and most importantly, we love to let fierce emotions out because that's the way for us to be expressed in the world. But with a bit of the instruction manual, how to handle yourself and others while you're riding your emotional wave. So what are we up to today, Kendall? What are we gonna do?
Today, da-da-be-da-be-doo, I've collected a variety of magazines. No, that's not true. I got one kind and a variety of them, all National Geographic. And as we're going to go into, well, I've got the second camera. I don't know if we're ready for the second camera, are we?
We will be at some point,
Yeah.
but we will be using different kind of working with emotions today. And Kendall has this secret weapon of hers, the
Emotions,
National Geographic.
glue stick.
Mhm.
And I'm throwing in another element called a journey circle.
Interesting.
You can take a watercolor paper and draw a circle or a cereal box. Just make it that it's firm enough to hold the glue. All right.
Very good. So we are in a journey. Geography will take us wherever it takes us. Our biology will take us where it will take us because emotions are the expression of the physical body. And in the mental way, we will journey through the images and colors and shapes into the place where we can be free to express whatever emotion we can in a very safe but very creative way. And we will take on our journey a friend, a little trickster from my deck called the Tricksters. 64 different tricksters that live in our body. Those are the little animals that we are. The competitive one, the fearful one, the scary one, the beautiful one. And let's see who will take us on the journey today. I will just pull a card and here we go. Stingray.
Lift it up a little bit. A stingray. Okay.
And how appropriate. The stingray wants to go deep and high to the light and deep again. But look at the face of this stingray. He's really not sure. He's really scared that he might create a mistake and get lost in the emotional waves. And water is that kind of medium in which electricity travels far. So the stingray is an electrical creature. We all are. So we will see where it will take us. And he says, I'm called Ray Earful because I'm not willing to risk my reputation. What if I make a mistake and everybody will get to know me as a person who is doing mistakes after mistakes after mistakes after mistakes? And therefore, I'm not doing much. I'm taking no directions. And I'm scared of being irrelevant. And of course, very often I get irrelevant because I'm doing nothing, going nowhere. And the most scary part of it is that I want to relate to other creatures. But what if I choose the wrong creature and it will eat me? What if I do something and they will not appreciate me whatsoever? What if I do something wrong? So
Oh, that's a lot of
that within ourselves. That's a lot, I know.
That's a lot.
But the stingray is in the water. And isn't that the place where we go underwater when we are crying and
Well,
sweating?
the stingray has a surprise in store today, and I will make the camera work. Let's see if I can do that.
Absolutely. I'm sure you can. We've done it many times. And while
All
you're
right.
doing this,
So
yeah.
I decided we're going to go with whatever shows up.
Mhm.
Stingray showed up, but as I began to pull the pages, what showed up if not a desert? So imagine you are a stingray in the desert, afraid of the deep, but you can swim in the sand. Ah, stingrays move with elegance and ease, and yet they also have a sting. So how we will start in the moment is simply ripping out the desert. And
Desert does look like an ocean, really, like a wave of an ocean.
isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, boy, it's stuck. Okay. Ah, there we go. So we start, we're going to put our hands on the page to just make a connection from your heart, your mind, your belly, in any order. Make this connection with the paper, with yourself, with the energy of the wide open desert that could even be the bed of an ocean, the abyss in an ocean can go either way. Take your glue stick. Since we're engineering smash booking backwards, we're making a fortify the page very quickly. Oh, and maybe not so quickly. How about I tend to go quickly, so maybe I won't go so quickly. Slow and fortify the page. You can't see the glue, but the glue is there. Just like you can't see spirit, but the spirit's there. Love is invisible energy as well. Emotions, all these energies are invisible to the naked eye, but then become visible to the heart. So now we have 45 pages, and it may, oh, there's a few surprises I have in store for you today. So then, okay, now we're going to smash them up and put all the imperfection, judgment, self-criticism into the crumpled energy so that we can just maybe shake our heads and relax, feeling this precious stingray energy. And maybe, since there are no rules in cosmic smash booking, we're going to put in, with a crayon, a stingray. It has a tail, right?
Yeah, it has a tail, it has big eyes. And as you're doing it, I invite everybody who's watching, if you don't have the materials, pause it and get the materials. But most importantly, understand that this process is a full body process, mental, emotional, and physical process. So you can move as much as you want. If you feel your body starts shifting on its own, just allow it. And remember that we are going into the fear of uncertainty, into the fear of I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know who I am sometimes. And if I want to see somebody, talk to somebody, do something together, I need to be somebody in order to relate to somebody. So today we are putting into these pages all those fears and all those moments when you believe you made a mistake. But the truth of the matter is, those mistakes and things that you've done is your life. And so we're connecting your whole life with this little creature inside that is still scared, even though you've survived. You've done all kinds of things, including some so called mistakes, but you've survived. And that means you are about to do something again. So be fearless, at least in making this project, because the worst you can end up with a cute little picture with a little collage on it, and a little crayon. And that is not a big deal. It's going to be good no matter what you do.
And for those, and see who my R seems to be there, you can take 2 pieces of paper, putting the fear into the paper like so, and draw, collage, work now with creative energy. However, that could add an element, you never know.
And it also gives an element of the fear of touching the empty space, of doing something on a perfectly wide open page. Now we crumbled it, we put some things on it. Now it's no longer as perfect as you might thought it would be, but it's perfect as a process, in the process of creation, being created by the creators. So let yourself go.
Now, and choose any pages that is coming to you out of your resource of magazine. Oh, so that's unexpected. Okay. And allow the unexpected. Like, oh, I was afraid because I expected this and this happened. I'm still okay. That's really a gooey stick. I think we're getting a new glue stick. Okay. Now, the other thing you might enjoy is a ruler. Let's see if the ruler shows here.
Yeah, we can see the ruler.
So there's something with your ears and the sound of ripping, tearing, getting your fingers into the, let's see, I want to do one more. So we take this page and we just rip it. You hear that sound? Oh, that feels good. I just am going to rip it again. Now that had a little more energy. Or you could do it, do some more softly. Slowly rip. No rules. I can do it this way. And you are in touch with your authentic spirit. And here now.
Just so you know, there is a connection between fear and ear, because through the sound, ancient people would hear something coming and they would understand what it is. Our ears are not as clear these days because we have iPhones in our ears, but this is the return to our nature, to the nature of us being in the nature and hearing every sound and making sense of every sound. And then you do not have so much fear, because usually the fear comes from not understanding what's going on, not knowing what's going on, not having enough information. But the sound is the information. You are transforming something that is information. You're changing one form into another. And right now we see the artist at work, but I invite you to awaken that artist within yourself. Don't try to match what Kendall is doing. Just allow yourself to be attracted to the picture and get that picture into your smash book or into your paper. We are continuously working in the same book, starting from the first episode, but you can choose to do different things and hang it around your room as to remind yourself that you are free to change your reality, even if it's in a book. Once it's in a book, your mind is perceiving it as real, and then you start noticing the changes in your reality, in the reality in which you're living.
As you're just being with your images, your energy, and the energy of Stingray, notice if words begin to show up. Notice must be a cutthroat trout, maybe. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But isn't that funny that that's what happened? And in the nature, it says here also, the mountains are the textbook. And under the ocean, in the deep caverns, there are mountains too. And the Stingray is going to, now notice there's a cavern here. Isn't this interesting? We don't know what's in the cavern yet. And look, maybe, okay. And this is when we enter the unknown, when we enter into relationship and feelings. Oh, it's unknown. It's unknown territory. Even when you know, oh, Steve, even when you think you know what you know, we never know. All right. Will that go on? Sam, off. Okay. Maybe I'm not going to glue this yet. So what I keep around are these jumbo paper clips because maybe I'm not gluing anymore. I don't know what I'm doing. The creative is doing it. I'm not doing it. Well, or am I? So see, I can just hold a place because I have an idea. I can feel an idea and it starts starting. Oh, look, maybe there's a different position. Oh, okay. And maybe I keep nature's lessons and the mountains are textbooks. Sometimes there's a message that is slowly revealing itself. And when Svetlana and I get together, we it's a mystery.
Always.
We are in the mystery.
Always.
And okay, so that's an idea. Is it done yet? Well, not really, because in cosmic smash booking, as in life, great. Well, it's good in life too. Keep going. Just keep going. The message may not be here yet. You'll know when the message is here.
Absolutely. And what is important to notice right now here is that when you experience an emotion of uncertainty or fear of making mistake because you don't know how to be, the body starts also experiencing it. After time, it becomes a feeling, the feeling that is feeling your body. Now, it's not only that you feel something, but the body is feeling you. How are you doing? Are you feeling helpless? Are you feeling confused? Are you feeling stuck in your inner fog? Maybe you need to climb the mountain under the water so you can see a bigger picture. Maybe you can allow the temporary chaos that right now is happening in Kendall's work without necessarily knowing the shape and the form it will create, but right now allowing that chaos to move you, to have its own force for you, and allow the emotion to spark, not to debilitate you, but to spark an idea, to start seeing in bits and pieces of what's happening in your book. What is going on within me? How do I relate to my feeling, to my emotions, to my sensations, and how I, with the fullness of who I am, relate to other people? And this process is relating to the science that I'm bringing into the process, the science of Sutsai, the science of knowing from the distance. And as we are working with this energy, this stingray represents the fear of relating. Because if you are scared of making mistake, you do not relate to anything. You're trying to relate to yourself, but the fear closes the opportunity for you to even understand how to relate to yourself. And so to unlock it, we use another door, the door of your imagination, because imagination could be used to create spooky stories, but it also can be used to create an entry point into a different reality. So let's see what Kendall is brewing in her reality.
In my reality, I have a jungle emerging in the middle of a desert. I have a fish. Uh-oh. Now I use something, it's plastic, so that the glue doesn't get all over. And now I'm going to make the commitment to glue it down. Oh, and I just had another idea. See, ideas show up. I went, oh, I knew I shouldn't have glued that so fast. Too bad. Okay. Now, This one, okay, what's happening in my world? I'm kind of happy about, well, maybe I make that crumpled. Okay. Now we get the desert put down. I'm satisfied with that. And now I'm feeling, uh-oh. Oh, well, there, that's gone.
But
And
look what's happening in your picture. Not only that you have a vicious trout on one side, on the other side you have a camel traveling in a desert. Isn't that so interesting?
where's the
That
camel? Did he
on the
go?
other side of your tail. If you flip the tail, you will see it.
Oh, oh, maybe.
That is a true magic right there.
I like it. Okay. Oh, oh, you see, I love the fact that they go together.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think that is marvelous.
And that is the opportunity. This is what is being born when you allow, when you see the opportunity in places where you might feel like you know how it will be, and therefore I'm not trying anything new. And now you can see that the trout in her water, in her element, and yet she has a support from the other animal. And this is how it is in our body. Our body is full of different memories, full of different stories, and we are the creature of the nature. And so as we relate to other animals, because we're also mammals, we can see that they find, they adapt, they find the way. When the oceans start drying up in ancient times, some of the fish came out, grew the legs, and went to be the lizard, for example. But we, in our ways, sometimes are stuck. And for us to relate to each other and to relate to the nature around us, it is necessary to learn who are we relating with. And sometimes we need to adapt, and sometimes some others adapt, and sometimes we all adapt to what's going on for everybody in our objective reality. So let's see what else is coming out of this interesting process.
What started to happen is now we have a bear. We have, oh, we have like, you know, when you have a llama, a two-headed llama.
Mm-hmm. That going in different directions, one forward, one back. It's kind of llama.
Sometimes that's what relationship is like, right there.
Often.
They're going together differently, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that amuses me.
Yeah, that's how one person is looking to the future, the other one to the back, and the trout is left with her mouth wide open. Wow, there is a present moment, and nobody's really paying attention to this. But look, there is a desert, there is a mountain, there is the emotion of the motion.
And the message. And so I'll probably glue later. I think I'm liking how I will sit with it. There's another thing that you see how this is open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put images on this. And then I will nest this here. Maybe. I could have done it over here, but it didn't happen. So it might not happen today. But I really like what happened here. That amuses me.
So is the journey circle like a map that kind of gives you a direction?
Yes. The journey circle it has a symbol of an ancient spiral. You can travel in time with this spiral. And then we create a journey circle is healing and wholeness. And we would, so see, I like these numbers.
Oh, yes. Then
So
it's true Sutsai. Let me just work on the numbers for 1 second because that's very cool.
yeah,
In Sutsai, we have 9 energetic streams. Each one between 1 and 9 is connected to a specific planet. And to navigate the desert or the sea, for example, when you don't see any features that is recognizable, the stars are very, very important. So right now, the stars are coming into our journey as the numbers because they really help us to navigate life, to understand people as energies, understand people as planets, and see the personalities from the distance. So number 8 is about somebody who controls the process, somebody who is taking care of receiving the result exactly the way I want. And number 3 is analytic. It's a personality who likes to analyze and understand what's going on. And then together, 8 and 3 creates 11. And 11 is on the other side, if you can see, behind the 0, there is another 11. So 11 together, 1 and 1, creates 2. And on the other side, 1 and 1 creates 2. And 2 is the personality that we're talking about today, is the personality who learns everything about people through the body. It's an empath. It's somebody who can understand other people because that person feels for other people. They like to be with the people, to learn what people are about, because it's very hard for them to understand because we're all different. And if they feel for every one of us, they get really confused. How to relate to my mom when she's so different from my dad? Or how to relate to my husband when he's so different from my boss? I already found the way to be okay at work, but I'm still not sure how to be at home. And so together, 2 and 2 makes 4. And 4 is the one who is always looking for revolution, somebody who always looking for something new. What's interesting, in between those numbers is 0. And 0 is not part of society. There is no information in 0. 0 brings everything to nothing. 0 is taking the energy out of the endeavor. And so looking at this 8 plus 3, 2, and 1 and 1, 2, and 0 in between just gives me another idea of how those journeys that we take sometimes destroys who we are, and we have to build again. In order to relate to anybody, we need to learn to relate to ourselves. And the fear of making mistake takes away who we are, chips away of our personality. We try to be like anybody else, and that's when we lose ourselves. So maybe this whole journey is about journey to yourself. I am the one who is in charge of my journey, and other people or other creatures and tricksters on my way are there for me to see my reflection in everybody.
so I'm slowly beginning to work through my surrender. I want this to be like nestled. See, I glued it so fast, right?
But you're not scared of making mistakes. That's what it's all about.
So there's
Today we're always going back on the foundation of our friend.
perfect.
The stingray. He's still
And
there within.
I made adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
I made adjustments. I arrived at the result I was looking for. And now I have this beautiful deer. I have these special numbers. And now I know they all resonate to a 2. And now somehow, eventually, they will. Well, I really like that double-headed. So
Yeah.
what I can do is create a way when I glue it down that this little card will nestle with this bear and fox.
Yeah, that looks
And
amazing.
the fox, well, maybe they don't need a body. Maybe they just need legs, the fox and the bear.
Yeah, they
That's
move it,
kind
and
of
that's what matters.
interesting.
Very.
Yeah, I like that.
Absolutely. I love it. And I really pay attention to the ears right now. The fox ears are perked up, the bear ears are open up, and the deer ears are huge. All of them are
Ooh.
listening. All of them are listening. Like I said, the ear and the fear are connected.
So what
They're
you might
listening.
do with the ear and the fear, like, okay, we're sitting with this. You might leave it like that, and then start to write about the fears that you hear. Fears I hear, or what's love I hear. Oh, interesting. I said here instead of here. See, that's what happens when the right brain, left brain get going. You spell differently.
Mhm.
Um, love I hear, or is love here? Love
Mhm.
here. Um, and I'm back to my stingray, and he has eyes. And now I'm in my smash book, and I'm just writing. And today maybe you don't have words, but maybe you've been inspired. Maybe you're hearing something. And then even if you're not, you can just let the pen move in, just let it move. Or journal and write about it. What is happening right now for my hearing in my body? Am I uncomfortable? Or am I getting ideas? And the other thing is then you write for a little bit and you go into the magazine again. And I like a blind pull, which means you just go. Sometimes I search. Of course, you saw me doing that. But look, now we have a turtle.
But look how it's all changed from the dry desert. We are back into emotion of the water, and we're seeing the creature coming up to the light. And the stingray card is saying, I follow the beaten path to avoid feeling incompetent. And I do not trust my dreams. I think they're not realistic. And I do not believe I have any talents. But here you are opening the stingray to a possibility of transformation, to the possibility of being in a different place, to become something else, to possibly have a new friend as a turtle. And isn't that something from the deer,
Isn't
which you
that
haven't
something?
done? Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
And now we are bringing in all of the elements of what nature has to give us. Oh, and even there's a feather. So we've got the birds, the feather, and now you just keep playing. You keep playing with it. And there's another one. I think there's something coming. So you see, you can, aha. Oh, this is great. Look at this. You can make these messages to yourself. This is your book. Can create. Okay, I want to leave that there. I'm going to glue them later. But look what I've got now. I've got paradise, a waterfall,
Mm-hmm.
dynamic energy, but also peaceful. Like, okay, I don't know what that means yet, but it doesn't matter. And so I encourage you to play with the spread back to the desert, to the ocean, but you play and you keep on going until you feel satisfied enough that it's like, oh, it's enough. I think I'm getting the message. Remember, the mountains are textbooks, and the stingray. Oh yeah, we definitely want to glue down this little guy. Okay, he's ready. Okay. That is so cute. I don't know, cute is for squirrels, but anyway. I think that I don't have much more on this at the moment.
That is a great process that you just shared with us, Kendall, because we started with fear of making mistakes. And through this process, many times you overcame this fear of making mistakes by gluing and ungluing and changing the pictures and flipping the pictures and bringing new elements and subtracting animals and splitting in half and mixing together and adding different nature elements and different creatures, all for our stingray to feel it's okay to try new things. You can get off the beaten path. What's the point to go on the same road every day, when there are so many other places you can go? And to relate is to start seeing, hearing, feeling, emoting, expressing everything that you meet in this life. So this method allows your whole body to get involved with the new reality. And the message of this stingray is I succeed when I experiment with new things to cultivate mastery. I focus on achieving extraordinary results. I view mistakes as learning opportunities. I follow my ray of light and hope, not stingray to-do list. I embody mastery by trusting natural talents and continual practice. So practice makes perfect.
It makes perfect, and pause makes possibility. So we pause.
We pause.
I'm looking at the page on the screen and I'm thinking, oh, I can take my pen and I can begin to make marks and messages. I can make messages with language or no language. I can draw symbols. See, it's the pages are never done. Like you're never done. We're never done. Like, oh, what's the relationship? I could make a cartoon. I could make, I could outline these ferns and then create, oh, something else is happening. You know, here we go. I don't know, I know. But then you can just make it your own and continue. There's sacred space, interior sacred space, as you contemplate the stingray and all the relationships that this stingray has. And then notice that even the human beings showed up.
Also with the water, by the way. We're definitely made a shift from earth, which is a bit heavier element, to water, which is a much more fluid element, to the feather on another page, to the lighter element of air. And that's how it goes. Every time you go for a journey, you find another journey. And in this journey, within that journey, you'll find another journey. And the more you go, the more life opens up for you. And the more life opens up for you, the more relationships you can make. And then you cannot make a mistake. You can only make another step. And the result is life. It's all life as it comes to you. And so go forth, be bold, be beautiful, be fearless, be fierce, and most importantly, be creative. Create your life. Start with the Smash book, go to real life, and make that real life just as funny, as creative, as interesting as your Smash book. It's all in your fingertips. Thank you, Kendall. It was a great session, and I hope everybody who watches it create a masterpiece and share it with us.
Thank you. Goodbye, everybody.